Hello everyone, my name is Ziamaro and welcome to Battlerite Sage. I'm kind of going with this new idea that each weekend we do a two-parter on a specific topic. Last weekend we spoke about what the players and the development team can do to keep the game growing. This weekend I'm going to talk about supports. This is an interesting topic whether you play support or not. Supports in Battlerite function in a slightly different way to other games. Most supports have cooldowns on their basic heals, so they actually need to supplement their healing with damage and CC. Even the healers that have no cooldown on their primary heal shouldn't be heal botting all game. So why should healers deal damage? Let me give you a simple example with our new champion Xander. Xander's left clicks heal for 10, but they deal 12 damage. So if we're in a vacuum and your teammate is trading blows with one enemy, what would help more, healing or dealing damage? Well, if you look at the numbers, then dealing damage actually swings the fight more, because the left clicks deal more damage than they heal. So in certain situations, it actually makes a lot of sense for supports to deal some damage. Does that mean you should just play like a DPS all game? Not exactly. Honestly, it's a little more complicated than the example I just gave you. If your ally blows a cooldown to reset a fight, you should definitely heal them up. However, if one of the enemies blows an important cooldown and they're in a bad position, even as the support, it might be worthwhile to stop healing for a bit and supplement some damage. I've spoken before about damage windows in Battlerite. What I mean by that is, when an enemy blows a defensive cooldown, you have a short window of time where you can deal damage to them and there's nothing they can do about it. And remember, you can only heal up to a maximum of 40 HP. So when you get a damage window, you want to get the enemy as far below that 40 HP mark as you can, because that's health the enemy is never getting back, outside of orbs of course. So when you see an opportunity to burst someone, try to get as much value out of that moment as you can. I'll show you a quick example here to illustrate my point. We were focusing the Ivor and noticed the Lucy pop her barrier on her. When the Ivor disengaged, we knew that the Lucy was vulnerable for a few seconds. So we called that the Lucy had no barrier and switched our focus to her. There was some healing for me to do in this moment, but this is an example of a great opportunity to deal some unhealable damage, so I stopped healing for a bit. The Lucy then popped all her defensives after we'd already burst her, and honestly, she didn't really have much choice. But that put us in a very advantageous position. My damage was maybe only 20 to 30% of the total damage done in this window, but every little bit of damage helps. It certainly swung the fight more than if I'd just topped Ashka up. As a support in 3v3, your default setting is to heal, but watch for those damage windows. Being able to see those opportunities is what sets apart an okay support from a good one. In 2v2 it's a little bit different. I think supports need to deal a bit more damage than they would in 3v3 there. So if you play DPS, when should you expect heals? To be honest, if you really need heals, you should disengage. I mean, if you had no support and you were taking a lot of damage, you would disengage, right? Some people seem to have this idea that a support is there to indefinitely prolong a fight. First of all, as I mentioned, most healers have cooldowns, so they can't heal you constantly. You do need to allow some time for their heals to come off cooldown. And secondly, even with healers who can constantly heal, like Pestilus, Paloma and Xander, a huge part of their value in a game is the damage and CC they can output as well. Damage prevention is actually the key to prolonging fights in this game. And for that reason, barriers and shields are what you should be expecting in the middle of a fight. Lucy's barrier actually prevents 50 damage without any battle rights, and that comes out instantly. And why do you think Paloma is such a popular pick? Other side can prevent an infinite amount of damage. And the same thing with Xander's portal to some extent. Now, I'm not saying supports shouldn't heal. That's one of the defining parts of their kit, so they definitely should be healing. But in an ideal world, you should, with your support's help, not be taking damage in the first place. If you can successfully avoid damage, what you should really be expecting from your support is damage and CC. So if you're thinking, well, now I'm confused. When should I heal and when should I deal damage? Let's put it this way. People are going to take damage. So prevent the damage you can, but you can't prevent everything. So try to make the most favourable trades you can. Is healing your ally going to swing the fight more? Or is dealing damage going to swing the fight more? You also need to consider the 40 HP rule. Try to make sure your allies don't go below that unhealable 40 HP mark. But if you see an enemy with no cooldowns and your ally is close to that 40 HP mark, what do? Honestly, it's totally a judgment call. Do you think you can do more damage to the enemy in that window than the enemy will do to your ally? It's a hard decision to make and only experience will help you make that decision. So my best recommendation is to watch your games back when you're unsure if you made the right decision, and that will help you out for similar situations in the future. So to summarize, why should supports deal damage? And the simple answer is damage windows. That's genuinely what wins games at a higher level. And as a support, you should be dealing damage in those windows just like your DPS should be. Supports in Battlerite are not heal bots. They're full hybrids, and that's what makes playing a support in this game so fun and challenging. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, then please feel free to subscribe for more Battlerite guides, news, and discussion. And if you're watching this video on the day I put it out, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow at 7:30 GMT on twitch.tv/BattleriteSage. Until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.